Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B. Yo.
What's good? What's good? What's good? How you doing, brother?
Man, I'm good. I forgot, normally we in the same room and we have microphones. And I forgot to connect my microphone, but I've been having all sorts of issues. You see this little light right here? It's like heaven's opening up or whatever. I'm like, yo, what is happening right now? But nah, man. Other than that, everything's good. Just off the record, I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B. I see Kelsey just gave us a shout out. We've been following her and all the big things she's been doing with the Ravens. Northern Virginia sports thing, so she's definitely doing her thing. Long time friend of the show.
Absolutely, we gotta get her back on here too, man. She be playing. She's too busy for us sometimes.
Hey. Kelsey's always been big time, but she's definitely hit the big time now, man.
All right, man. So I mean, we got some things to talk about. So I guess we can start LeBron. He hit 40,000. He scored his 40,000 point a few days ago, and I think that's that's tremendous, right? But and I want to get your take on him scoring 40K, but the disrespect that he gets is so crazy. I don't understand it for the life of me. I'm like, why don't people like LeBron? Is it because of the decision?
No. I don't think that people dislike LeBron. I think we're spoiled by his greatness. And we kind of saw a lot of it with like Kobe Bryant, right? Mm-hmm. I'm just going to use him as an example. When he played, you had like a respect for him. But then when he left the game, you realize like his greatness was on a different level. I think that if you look at it with LeBron, I heard something interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was a guy that said, hey, I was watching LeBron when I was 12, and now I'm watching LeBron going into my 40s. And, I don't know what the math is on that, but if you really think about that, that's a long time to be watching somebody play the game and be as dominant. You know what I mean? Because he pretty much was as dominant from the time he came into the league to now. And I think a lot of times we just take that for granted with him.
Absolutely. No, I definitely agree with that because he's been great for so long, and some may say it shouldn't be some. Everyone should say he's exceeded his expectations, and his expectations were wild. So the fact that he can exceed them, you would think he would get a lot of props. But when it comes to Jordan, there's some people that it don't matter who you are, they won't allow you to be better than Jordan. Right?
So the conversation is shifting a little bit. And I'm not saying shifting as far as who's better. I think a lot of us will always think that Jordan is better no matter what LeBron does, but it's getting more difficult to compare their careers because you've got LeBron, what is he, 39 or
20? Yeah, 39.
Yeah, he's 39. Jordan wasn't playing at this level at 39. Now Jordan did a lot of great things during his span, during his playing career, right? You can't take anything away from MJ, but the longevity aspect of somebody being this dominant for this long and being this consistent at this age, and still being one of the top players in the game at this age and achieve what he's been achieving, you can't dispute that. And now, does that make him the greatest player of all time? Probably not, but you can't deny his greatness.
Right. I mean, so I'll say this. I feel like we talk about people moving the goalposts, right? And so I saw something yesterday where had he not made not 1 3, he would still have more points than Jordan, which I think is crazy, right? Then you take into account that he has over 10,000 assists, right? So I again, I don't care about who's better. Personally, I don't care about who's better. I'm the type of person that likes to take in the great, like watch the greatness, right? Before it was about to be a pause moment, but I like to enjoy the greatness. Like we've been lucky enough to pretty much watch Jordan's whole career for the most part, if not the whole career, a majority of his career. We saw Kobe's whole career. We saw LeBron's whole career, among other great players. I mean, in between them, and I think that you should celebrate that and be like, damn, you really got to see all these 3 guys at their highest of highs, and that shit pretty much at their lowest of the lows. With Jordan and with Kobe, they had, and LeBron, he hasn't been as low as Jordan or Kobe, but damn, I mean, he's on the tail end of his career. He's still, would you say, top 5 in the league?
Oh yeah. So here's the thing, and this is what makes this comparison tough. And I know you as a Bulls fan will agree with this.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan not only struck fear in his opponents, but he struck fear in other fans. And what I mean by fear, and not necessarily like because he was a tough guy,
Mm-hmm.
you just knew if you had to face off against Michael Jordan, the chances of you winning were not in your favor. And the chances that not only was he going to beat your team, but he more than likely was going to embarrass your star player. And I think like we get that misconstrued, like, looking at it from that angle, to where when Jordan played, it wasn't a more dominant player in his era. I think with LeBron, you can make the argument that there's been other dominant players, not as dominant as him, but other dominant players that have played in the same era. So it's hard to really separate them. As far as saying like, okay, he's the greatest of all time, but then you look at his generation, you're like, well, he wasn't that much better than some of his opponents. Like there's been other opponents that were able to get rings during his era.
You talking about LeBron?
Yeah.
That's so. I mean, see, that's unfair, right? Because when you say that, right? When you say that, it's almost like we forget about Jordan's first 9 years in the league, or first 7 years in the league, or whatever, however long it was until he won. I think 8 years or whatever it was. I mean, Bird. I put it like this: Isaiah got 2 rings. What? And that's Jordan's era. I think most people would say Jordan was the best player in the league. Those few years, right?
I say that Jordan dominated the 90s. I think the 80s, depending on who you talk to, it might be Magic. It is Magic Johnson, in my opinion. Maybe a Celtics fan will say Bird, and maybe a diehard Detroit fan that might be a little bit intoxicated might say Isaiah Thomas. I don't know. Maybe it can go either way. But when we got to the 90s, you didn't see a player more dominant. I think the argument with LeBron is you had like certain stints I mean, you can't erase the Steph Curry, or you can't erase.
Steph Curry didn't have an era. Let's not do
But
that. That was still LeBron's era.
he had a run. He had a run during LeBron's time to where he was able to win some championships. You know, the Greek Freak, he was able to get in there and grab one. You know, it's been other players that have the Joker. I mean, it is.
I'll say this. So and Wade said it. There's a lot more good athletic players. I agree with that. I agree with that, right? But I'll say you look at when LeBron was at his peak. I think we would say from let's use the from Miami to let's say the bubble, right? So that's what 9 years, or that's 10 years, give or take, right? So and during that time, LeBron won how many rings? He won 4 rings, right? Out of he won 4 rings pretty much in 10 years. Jordan won 6 in 10 years. And Steph had, like, people don't really understand that Kevin Durant going to the Golden State Warriors at that time ultimately made that team pretty much unbeatable. Like it wasn't really a lot of teams that could beat, and a lot of people compare the 2017 Warriors, not even the 2016 Warriors that they didn't win the ring, but they broke the Bulls record, right? They don't even compare that team to one of the greatest teams ever. They compare the 2017 Warriors to one of the greatest teams ever. And
I think the team that the first year that they had KD and Draymond and Clay in his peak,
2017,
2017. I would say that most people would have to say, arguably, that's the best team. Now, a lot of people would take that 72 win Chicago team.
Mm-hmm.
I forget what year the Lakers had like a really good team. It might have been the 85 or 84.
Yeah.
So some people I've heard people argue that team. But if I had to take one team, it's that 2017 Warriors team.
As the best team ever?
That's what I'm rolling with.
Oh, you about to start a whole nother what? So here's my thing. I get that, right? I totally. Iguodala was on that team also. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot on that team, man.
Because they can shoot. Now, that's another show.
No disrespect to Mike, because I think that he would lock Steph or Clay or whoever he was guarding up. Like he would take them out the ball game. But the rest of the team, they have a tough time defending Kevin Durant.
Let me get this clear. You're saying you would take the 2017 Warriors over the 72 win Bulls. The what year was the Celtics? I think that was that 84, 83, 86, where they had Bird, Parrish, McHale. Yeah. I think Bill Walton was on that team, I think, as well. Robert Parrish. I mean, you're taking them over them. You're taking them over any of the Lakers teams. I mean, you could pick a Lakers team. It doesn't really matter. So you're taking the 2017 over all of those teams.
So I got some more teams that I can add to the list, and I'm taking them over. So this one is tough, and I don't even know why this team just came to mind. Shaq and Kobe. That's a pretty tough team. That's not the team I'm taking, but I got to put them up there. That was a pure dominant team during our era.
I want to be clear, Scott.
Yeah.
You're saying that the 2017 Golden State Warriors are the best team ever.
Yeah.
I didn't know we was gonna go here today. I didn't know.
I didn't know we were gonna go here either. I was planning on talking about some free agency, and
we will, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
The current.
I need to know what makes you think that the 2017 Golden State Warriors can beat the 72-win Chicago Bulls.
Matchup nightmare.
I don't think so.
I think if you played in, so Joey just brought up a good point, right? If you take that team back to 96, maybe that's a different outcome. If you play basketball the way basketball is played now.
All right. So can I say something?
Yeah.
Can I say something? Shoot or shoot. It don't matter what era you win. Shoot or shoot.
I'll take it back to 96.
So if you take the 90s rules, so because the rules started to change in the 90s somewhat, but so is there hand checking or no hand checking?
No, there was no hand checking in 96, but
Okay.
we'll take the 96. You realize the level of shooting that they have.
Mm-hmm. Steve Kerr was on the Bulls team, by the way, their coach.
Yeah, but Steve Kerr couldn't get off the bench. And I think
winner. He was off the bench.
Yeah, I gotta go with the 2017. I want to give you one reason. Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman would all be looking at Kevin Durant like he was an alien. They would not know what
you can still be physical with him.
You could be physical, but in 2017 he had that figured out, right? So I'll go back to around 2012 when the Heat got their first championship against him and OKC.
Right.
Back then, you might have been able to bully him a little bit, but this Kevin Durant or the Kevin Durant in 2017 is just a pure, flat out score.
So I'm gonna give you the matchups, and you tell me what you think. All right. So the starting five, I'll give you the starting five for both teams. So the starting five for the 2017 Warriors was Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Who was the center for that team? Was it
I thought it was the not Pachuca or
you know what? That's why we got Google. So but you got Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, and hold on, I'll tell you right now. Because Iguodala came off the bench. Was it Kevon Looney? That's who it was. JaVale McGee was there too. So I mean, they kind of rotated those guys. So now the starters for the Bulls was Harper, Ron Harper, Michael Jordan.
Yeah, any one of those guards would have buckled his knees.
No, let me finish. So Ron Harper, Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Luke Longley, and Tony Kukoc. Right. Now, the one thing you can say about the Bulls team, right, because they had guys coming off the bench. The one thing you can say about that team is that they played good defense, right? And so, just with the starters, I'm putting Pippen on KD, right?
Okay.
I put Pippen on KD. I'm putting Jordan on Thompson. I'm putting Ron Harper on Steph. Dre and Dre and Rodman to each other, and the centers they watch each other out. They just setting screens and they there to get the rebounds, right? Now, if you want to, you can go and put Dennis Rodman, who's one of the best defenders in NBA history, on Steph Curry.
So
I would do that. And I would do that because Ron Harper on Draymond Green is whatever.
So you might be better off doing that matchup Because if you put Rodman on Draymond Green, you now bring Rodman as a fish out of water. Rodman was a great defense. I'll tell you, Rodman was a great defensive player, but you got to remember Draymond Green handles the ball in that offense. Like he basically is running point forward. So you've got him on the wings. You've got him basically facilitating traffic. So yeah, it might be better to put Ron Harper on Draymond because he's going to be doing a lot of the ball handling. Steph Curry, I want to tell you, Steph Curry on Rodman, he might drop 70 on Rodman.
You are damn.
He might drop 70 on Rodman.
Oh my God! Listen, I'm gonna tell you now.
He might drop 70 on Rodman.
I'm telling you now that there is like if Rodman from '96 played in the NBA in 2016, 2017, he would have won Defensive Player of the Year. He would have won Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, he would have won Defensive Player of the Year.
And don't sleep because Rodman can move. Like Rodman's one of the best defenders in
Steph Curry. The keep up with Steph Curry.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he can move if he's guarding another power forward, a small forward. But you're talking about arguably.
And then I put. Listen. Here's the thing. And I know it was a different time, right? Pippen had to guard some of these greats. He had to guard Kobe. He had to guard AI.
And Kobe.
I mean, again, he was older at that time, so let's not. Man, oh man.
Yeah. He was. And look, you know what a huge Scottie Pippen fan I am, but Stephon Green, Steph would have gave them fits, man. Steph Curry would have gave them fits. They would have had to put Jordan on them, and then it becomes what do you do with Clay? It was too much talent on that team, man. It really was. It was.
They got Mike. They got Mike. Who's gonna stop Mike? Who?
Look.
Who? No. You gonna put KD on Mike?
Nobody would have stopped Mike on that team.
Exactly. And let's not get it twisted. He didn't shoot threes because he didn't want to. It ain't like he couldn't shoot threes, right? He didn't shoot threes because he didn't want to, and that wasn't the game back then. We see Jordan shoot threes.
Nobody would have stopped Mike. So nobody would have stopped Mike and Pippen, right? So we could be clear on that. Rodman would have did his thing, but eventually they would not have been able to keep pace with the 2017 Warriors.
That's false, man. They would have been beat. Listen, the 2016-2017 Warriors would have been beat up by the 95-96 Bulls. They would have been beat up, man. They would have been beat up.
So Joey brought up a good point, right? Ron Harper had defense in 86. We're talking about 96.
Yes, he did. He played great defense then too.
I wouldn't call it.
He was in 86. He was jumping out the gym.
Yeah, he was the poor man's Jordan. I wouldn't say great defense. We'll say solid, guard-worthy defense. He was older.
He wasn't that old. He wasn't that old. At that time, that was his 9th year in the league. The year they won the year they won 72 games.
He had bad knees.
He did not. He was good. He was a good defender that year.
Ron Harper, look, I have nothing negative to say about Ron Harper.
Well, you just said a bunch of negative things about Ron Harper.
No, I stated a lot of opinions. But look, him guarding Steph Curry would have been it'd have been a tough draw. Steph Curry is a tough draw for anybody.
Is Reggie Miller not a tough draw for anybody?
Reggie Miller is a tough draw, but Reggie Miller didn't play with Durant, Klay Thompson, and Draymond either.
And they also didn't play against defenses like they had in the 90s either. You can't even test these guys. And you already said we're using 95, 96 rules. If we're using those rules, they getting beat up, dog. They're getting beat up. That's why I can't say, that's why I can't go with you saying, yo, this is the best team ever. Is that a great team? Absolutely. But the best team, no way. No way.
So,
and here's
so,
the thing. Jordan's
yeah,
better than
in your mind, are they the second best team ever?
Here's my thing. How many Hall of Famers are on that team? Just those four.
Yeah. So you consider Draymond a Hall of Famer?
Absolutely. Draymond Green is going into the Hall of Fame. Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to say, you don't think Draymond Green's a Hall of Famer?
I'm thinking about it, right? So you can't dispute all his defensive player. How many defensive player of the year does he have?
Draymond, I think Draymond has 2.
Yes, 2.
Maybe 3. I can check right here. Draymond has defensive player. He only has 1.
Okay, so he's got 1.
But he's 8-time all defensive team. He's a 2-time all NBA. He's a 4-time champ, 4-time all-star, and he was the steals champ that year, 2016, 2017. Led the league in steals.
So what is his career average? Like what, 8, 9, and 7 or something?
His points? Oh, his career is 8, 7, and 6.
But I will say the statistics don't tell the true story of his career.
If he wanted to be a scorer, he could be a scorer.
So the only reason why I'm saying that he has a strong possibility of getting into the Hall of Fame is because of Rodman and Ben Wallace.
It's not a strong hey Scott, I can tell you now, it's not a strong possibility of Draymond Green is going to the Hall of Fame. And are you serious right now? All y'all that saying no, that Draymond Green is not going to the Hall of Fame are tripping. If Manu Ginobili is in the Hall of Fame, Draymond, I don't even know why that's even
but Manu Ginobili had a different resume. And it really depends on timing.
Draymond Green's resume is a lot better than Manu Ginobili's resume. Are you kidding me? Draymond Green is the reason. Draymond Green's resume is better than Manu Ginobili's resume.
I think all that international stuff helped Manu Ginobili. And I think like the Spurs and all that sort of thing kind of helped him. So here's going to be the thing with Draymond. It's going to be timing. And it's going to be about like who's like up with him, because there's a lot of good players in this generation that may get hurt. So look, okay. So I heard an interesting thing, right? A lot of people will tell you Dwight Howard's not a Hall of Famer,
and a lot of people, and the people that tell you Dwight Howard's not a Hall of Famer are not intelligent.
Yeah, but people will say that though, right?
Because they have a mouth.
Yeah.
Anybody with eyes that saw Dwight Howard play basketball will tell you that he's going to the Hall of Fame. Draymond Green is the reason these guys have all these championships. Let's not fool. Yes, Steph can shoot.
The reason? The reason?
What?
The reason? Oh, I say a critical component.
If they don't have Draymond Green, they do not have 4 championships. Are you serious right now?
He's a critical component, but I think if they don't have Draymond Green, they still get 2 of those.
What? Oh, the 2 with Kevin Durant, right? Right? Yeah. And honestly, I don't know about that because they almost lost. Remember, they almost lost. They had to come back against Houston. They almost lost to Houston. If Chris Paul doesn't get hurt, who knows what happened? I know that's if.
So let me ask you this though: Is Draymond Green as good as he is on a different team?
I don't know because I've never seen him on a different team. I don't know.
So that's been my hang up with him is.
But why does that matter though? Is Steph Curry is good if he's on a different team? We don't know that.
Absolutely.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that.
But the thing about Draymond is he plays in that system. It's the perfect system that fit the way that he plays. And I think the system aided him a lot.
And if that's the case, then he's a Hall of Famer because he had. I don't care about no system. I'm talking about what our eyes have shown us. And Draymond Green has been a key component. Listen, most people say the reason why the reason why the Warriors lost to the Cavs when they was up 3-1 is because Draymond got suspended. That is the consensus on what people say. Yes, LeBron went crazy, but LeBron went crazy in every single final series. Every final series he was in, he went crazy, except for he didn't go to the finals last year. But every final series LeBron has played in, his numbers have been tremendous. Freaking Iguodala got Finals MVP, and LeBron averaged a triple double, and he was the key defender on LeBron. So most people say, 90% of people say, I'm just throwing that number out there because I've heard a lot of people say this, that if Draymond Green does not get suspended, the Warriors win in 5 that season.
So look, I'm not going to debate you there, right? Because I somewhat even agree with what you're saying. Mm-hmm. If he didn't get suspended, he probably could have. They probably would have won that. And the narrative on LeBron changes a lot.
Oh, it'd be a whole lot.
It changes a lot had he not played London Bridges with LeBron James and got suspended in Game 6. Yeah, it definitely shaped the outcome of that. All right, man. We're getting ready for the draft. We got free agency. A lot of cuts today. A lot of talk about shifting the players and where they may sign, where they may get traded to. Mm-hmm. I want to start with the Bears. Me and you have been talking about the Bears for quite some time.
Right.
4 months ago, everybody thought I was crazy when I said the writing is on the wall. Well, it's not 4 months ago. We'll say 3 months because we're in March. Everybody thought I was crazy when I said the writing is on the wall. The Bears are probably going to move on from Justin Fields. What are your thoughts now?
Oh, time out. Wait. What? We're going to have to go back and sit up because wait, what? Who thought you was crazy?
A lot of people. Starting next to you.
You thought, hold on. So you said, what I say?
It's somewhere in the archives. Folks, I'll have to pull the recordings, but I think I said that, and everybody was like, "Nah, they're not moving on from Justin Fields, and the writing isn't on the wall."
Scott, you are tripping. A lot of people thought they was moving on from that. I can tell you exactly what I said. I said I don't think that they should move on from Justin Fields, but they probably will. Okay, I did say that because yo, I'm gonna stop looking at these comments. Hey, I'm sick of this. But no, I said that they should they could trade back and keep Justin Fields and get some other pieces, but they probably won't, and they'll probably get Caleb Williams, because I've been on here and said that we don't need. I want to say it was a couple weeks ago. I said we don't need to overthink this. Caleb Williams is going number 1, and Caleb Williams is going to go number 1 regardless. Anybody that thinks that Jaden Daniels should go 1, or Drake May should go 1, listen. Caleb Williams is going number 1. Whether that's to the Bears, to the Commanders, Caleb Williams will be the first name called April 25th.
Okay, so let's take it there for a second, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Caleb Williams goes number 1, I think we can agree there. Where does that leave Justin Fields? Where is he going?
I think he should go to Atlanta. I think Atlanta would be smart to get Justin Fields.
Why Atlanta and not the Steelers?
So the Steelers is a good spot too, but I think that with Russell, I'm about to say Russell Simmons, with Russell Wilson he's gonna get cut. I guess next week. I think Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh fits more than Justin Fields, right? Because he's more of a veteran. He turns the ball over a whole lot less. And then I think Justin Fields in Atlanta, both teams have weapons, but Atlanta got weapons, right? And so you have Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, what's the other Drake London. You got some weapons for Justin Fields, right? So I think that's just a better fit than him going to Pittsburgh. He don't even seem like the type of quarterback Pittsburgh normally gets anyway,
So I think so you're right about that, right? So Pittsburgh, they don't want to trade. I think that they'll rather bring in a veteran to push Kenny Pickett. I think that we all pretty much know that the story has been written on Kenny Pickett. He's not going to be the guy. I think what's interesting about Pittsburgh is pairing him with Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, even though last couple seasons hasn't really gotten maybe the best production out of his quarterbacks, I think that he could pull the most potential out of possibly a Justin Fields if he's there. Just because of the brand of football that they play, right? You look at what that defense was able to do. That defense basically carried that team the entire year. He's got weapons out there with the Steelers. I think Mike Tomlin could do something now.
With Justin Fields.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, Justin Fields has been in one of the worst predicaments that anybody. The only person I think that probably had it worse than Justin Fields, I don't even say I think Justin Fields had it worse, but Mac Jones was in a pretty shitty situation, right?
Mac Jones was in the worst situation.
Mac Jones, right? And I think Mac Jones, Justin Fields, and Daniel Jones. I know a lot of people didn't want, when they saw Daniel Jones go 6 to the Giants, they was like, man, what the hell? But has Daniel Jones really been given an opportunity to succeed? I don't think so. You have multiple coaches, multiple offensive coordinators, multiple GMs. Now, and that's, you can say that for the three of them, right? But I think what you call it did to Mac Jones is probably worse.
No, Mac Jones is definitely in the worst situation. I mean, to have and let's be frank, right? I love Bill Belichick as a coach, but if you think it's a good idea to take two defensive coordinators and make them
no, one of them was a special teams coordinator,
and make it, and develop your quote unquote franchise quarterback, that's a terrible idea. And I don't know what he was thinking with that, and just to continue to not put the weapons around Mac Jones, I think it contributed to his downfall. Now I think that he'll eventually get it. Now I see a whole bunch of people talking about the Raiders, right? I think Russell Wilson should go to the Raiders.
Why?
I think that with the receivers that they got and Antonio Pierce, that he'd be a good fit there. I think like Devontae Adams, he'll be able to get him the football. I think at this point in his career, he still wants to start. He doesn't want to be a backup. If he goes there, he could still be a starter or possibly a bridge.
No, I think I don't really like the Raiders thing. I get out of the AFC West as quickly as possible. I'd rather see him in Atlanta or Pittsburgh, honestly. I think Pittsburgh, honestly, is the best fit for Russell Wilson. I saw something today that said the Patriots, but I think the Patriots would be a terrible move. Now the Patriots have a whole lot of money, but they don't spend money. You know, they got a new coach. If I was him, I would. I think that Pittsburgh. If you look at Pittsburgh, and it's gonna sound crazy, but Pittsburgh this year kind of reminded people of the Jets from last year, right? They was like, oh, they just a quarterback away, and we don't really know what Aaron Rodgers would have done, but they looked like they was just a quarterback away. Pittsburgh had their quarterback play this year. Their quarterback play this year was terrible, to say the least. And like legitimately, defense won them a majority of their games, right? And they do have weapons. They have receivers. They got a tight end. They have a running game. I do think that they're a quarterback away, and Russell Wilson, and you'll get them for the cheap. You're gonna get them for the veterans minimum. And
I was just about to ask you that. If you're Russell Wilson, would you sign for the veteran minimum?
Why not? Why not? Absolutely. I would want to make Denver's life as much hell as they tried to make my life. And yes, they're going to pay me that 30 whatever million, right? So yes, because just off rip, if he don't play it down next year, he's getting $39 million. He getting $39 million. Yeah, absolutely. If I'm you know, give me 2-3 million. Keep your books low so we could bring in more people if you have the cap space, right? And the thing is, he's gonna get his money, but right now, Russell Wilson has a chip on his shoulder, and he has a point to prove that he's not washed, right? I think he had a pretty good season last year.
I thought he had a good season too. I mean, he did everything they asked him to do. I think he took the high road, and a lot of people thought that maybe he should have stood up for himself more. But I mean, he was in a no-win situation. So
he did the right thing because he's about his money, and I'm almost certain that his agent probably told him this. Like, because what happened was, had he, we've seen Sean Payton pretty much curse him out on live TV, on national TV. And from what I've read is that had he went back at Sean Payton, they could have suspended him for conduct detrimental to the team, which will void some of the money in his contract. And because he didn't do any, he didn't respond, he didn't do any of those things, he gets to keep all his money, or as much money as he's guaranteed. So I mean, I got him going to the Raiders. I got Justin Fields to the Falcons. So let me ask you, because we got this. Well, before we get to the draft, some of the people that got cut, Buffalo cut most of their people. Yeah, they cut Poyer, Tre'Davious White, among some other guys. You had these running backs. You got Josh Jacobs, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Tony Pollard. What's the guy from that was in Buffalo but was in Houston last year? Devin Singletary, Zach Moss. All of those guys are going to be free agents. They're free to go wherever the hell they want to go.
It's tough. So it's going to be tough for the running backs because, like you said, it's a lot of them, and the league just doesn't value them like they used to. It's going to be tough for all of them to get deals. I'm hearing something that Austin Eckler might be out with San Diego. That he's LA. Not good for what LA. I always called him San Diego.
They're gonna be San Diego until they start winning consistently.
But I keep hearing John Harbaugh or Jim Harbaugh, not John. But I keep hearing that he's not wanting him as a running back in the scheme that he's running. So that's another possible running back on the market. I think it's all going to depend on the top running backs and where they go. So I think it's going to depend on where Saquon Barkley goes because it looks like he'll probably go to Houston.
I don't know. I'm holding out hope for him to go to Dallas. I'm holding out hope. I tell you this, and I said it before. Saquon Barkley going to Dallas would be equivalent to Christian McCaffrey going to the 49ers.
if they keep Pollard.
No. Why?
I would try to lock. I would try to sign both of them. Create that. Well, it's not really thunder and lightning, but
I mean, I listen. You have Pollard and Saquon.
it's a good 1-2 punch.
Absolutely, and you
Yeah.
could keep both of them on the field at all times for the most part.
Yeah, I mean, get Pollard back into that second role, and then you got Saquon as the lead back. I mean, I don't think it'll happen. More than likely, like you said, maybe they do sign him and they let Pollard walk. But if I'm Stephen Jones, I'm trying to get both of them in the building.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at that, not one bit. But all right, man. So the draft. I think we agree that Caleb Williams is going 1, right? Yeah. You have Jaden Daniels going 2, or no? They going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Drake May going 3. That will win me $500. But if that doesn't happen, I mean, well, that could happen. But who I'm hearing moving up the draft boards like crazy is JJ McCarthy, which I'm happy about.
I was just going to talk to you about that because the Giants had the 6th pick, right?
They do.
So there's been a lot of talk. Russell Wilson going there for the veteran minimum and still taking JJ McCarthy
to the Giants
because they're talking about that if Jones doesn't come back healthy because he's had like a lot of injuries. Mm-hmm. That gives you Russell Wilson for the veteran minimum, and then you still have the opportunity to develop the rookie. You know what I mean? Because like you said, with this veteran minimum thing, teams can really take a risk on Russell Wilson. What are you losing if you're giving him the veteran minimum,
right?
And you get his services, as a backup or a mentor or whatever it is, you can't lose, right?
Right.
Let me see. There's some other place that they were talking about, but they're definitely talking about he's going to be the 4th quarterback selected.
Yeah, and it's picking up steam. I even saw a spot where they said that he would go before Jaden Daniels. I was like, all right, y'all. But this is also a thing I read as well. They said that at the combine, he killed it on the whiteboard. See that right there? He killed it on the whiteboard, right? And they compared it to, they didn't compare the player, but they compared it to how Baker Mayfield was at the combine. And they also said that damn near every single person loves JJ McCarthy at the draft. I'm talking about the players. Like, they just gravitated to him or whatever. And I'm like, well, it makes sense, right? Because I think he's just a natural winner. And
yes, one loss in your college career.
Yeah, that's crazy. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like, because one of my favorite movies is Draft Day, and if guys start falling, right, for whatever reason, like a Drake May, or I don't think Marvin Harrison Jr. is falling past 4. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to 4, unless something crazy happens. But he's gonna go to number 4 to Arizona, which I think is a good place. And I forget who's at 5, but the Giants at 6 getting JJ McCarthy. Now that I think about it, it would make some sense. Brian Daboll will have his project, and Russell Wilson. I don't want JJ McCarthy to go to the Giants. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think the thing with JJ McCarthy is it's not that he can't throw the ball. I think the offense that he played in, or the system that he played in at Michigan, didn't necessarily showcase all his talent. So I think pro style offense is going to help him out.
I mean, he could play football. He's a football player. So yeah. So I think he's going to be fine. I'm interested to see the other quarterbacks, Bo Nix and Michael Penix. I do like Michael Penix, man. And I feel like They say he was one of the best at the combine. And I'm definitely going to be tuned into these pro days because that's where a lot of them are throwing now,
Right.
and so it's going to be interesting. Now, I mean, the draft is in, I forget how many, it is in a month and a half, so about 6 weeks we'll have the draft. I'm actually going to be there, Scotty. Are you coming?
I'm coming through. Let's go.
All right, we'll be out.
So look, real quick before we go, I know we talked a little bit of hoop at the beginning, but the season's starting to shape out. You got the Celtics that, I mean, I know they lost yesterday, but I mean they're looking like the team to beat in the East. You've got all the teams out west. I know we talked about it last week with Minnesota and what's the other one? Just had them at Oklahoma City, the Clippers, and just Denver. They're finding their stride. The Suns looked scary last night, even though they almost blew that lead. If they're healthy, they're ready. It's going to be an interesting end of the season, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, man. I feel like, because who I really want to see in the playoffs, honestly, Anthony Edwards. This dude is a dog, yo. He is a monster, and I feel like
congratulations to him too. He just had a child, so
congratulations to him. Now, I will say this. I know people have been talking about LeBron retiring eventually, and who's going to be the face of the NBA. Anthony Edwards can be the face of the NBA. I don't care what anybody says. He is a monster, and I feel like when the KDs, the Stephs, the LeBrons, who else is in that group? They pretty much Carmelo's gone, D Wade's gone. The Kawhis and all of them. You're gonna have Anthony Edwards. You're gonna have Jason Tatum. You're gonna have Wemby.
Hey, Wemby. Look, Wemby starts when so right now the NBA is ready to make him the face of the league.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
The only issue is that the Spurs aren't winning.
He's a rookie. They'll make
they'll figure it out, but they want to make him. I say the next 3 to 5 years. Well, I'll say 3 years. That's probably going to be your best player.
Yeah, I mean, and again they need to build up the rivalry between him and Holmes. Yeah, I think that. Listen, first of all, they both look awkward as hell. Like they like stick figures, but they despise each other, and I love it because it'd be different if Wemby was beefing with somebody that's 6'8". That don't man, he gonna dunk on you all game. Chet is what? 7'2" as well, or 7'3"? No, Chet's taller than that. I think Chet's like 7'4", 7'5", ain't he?
I gotta look at. I like Chet. Chet plays with a chip on his shoulder. I like his attitude. He's got like a lot of dog in him too. No, you're right. They need to play it out. But what Wemby is doing in virtually 30 minutes a game, I mean, we're talking about somebody living up to expectations. I won't compare him to LeBron, but this guy is living up to all the expectations. So Anthony Edwards, if you get a second, check out that clip when Draymond Green started talking to him and see what he did.
He a dog, man.
He is a dog.
He's a dog.
He is a dog. He is a dog.
He's gonna have his moment. I just hope that he can have it in Minnesota, right? I feel like Minnesota has a good team, and because you kind of want to see those things, right? Because eventually he's gonna leave. He's probably gonna go to New York or LA or somewhere. He's gonna leave in 7 years,
right?
And well, I guess 4 or 5 years now. But if he stays in Minnesota, right? If he stays in Minnesota, they could give him the Supermax and turns Minnesota into a perennial like this we here, and it's Minnesota. Man, he will.
They're right there. It just started a year later, but they got the pieces. I think they're going to go pretty far in the playoffs, and I think that he's here to stay. Again, he is a legit superstar. He brings every night. He wants to win. He's got that right. Just I don't want to say attitude, but that
he's a leader. He's a leader.
Yeah, he's got that personality.
So he could do what, and I think Jimmy Butler's a leader as well, in a different type of way, but he can do what Jimmy Butler couldn't do, and that's like lead Karl Anthony Towns, right? Now I think that Anthony Edwards is way more athletic than Jimmy Butler, right? But I don't think Jimmy Butler. I mean, Anthony Edwards came in there like probably because remember what we heard about Jimmy Butler. He went in there with the threes and destroyed the Stars and talked so much crap to them, and they just they couldn't take his leadership skill, right? Or style, I should say, not skill. They couldn't take his leadership style, but in Miami, they love Jimmy Butler's leadership style. That's like part of like the culture.
But I think he's grown. I think he's also grown too. I don't think the Chicago Jimmy or Minnesota Jimmy or Philadelphia Jimmy is the same Jimmy that's in Miami. Agreed. I think with Anthony Edwards, because he's so good and he's got that just not just leadership, but that, I'm the man. I'm the best guy in the NBA. I'm just going to show you. I want to tell you and I want to show you. You could do what you want to do over there, but I'm going to elevate us type of attitude. I think it forced everybody to kind of get in line. Because from day one, I remember watching a guy at Georgia, and I was like, man, this brother is a dog. And when they got him, I was slowly but surely just been watching. But it's a lot of young stars, man. You got Shea.
Shea Gilchrist. Yeah. He's another one. Like, first of all, he's gonna give you 30. He gonna give you 30. he give out 30 pointers like they used to score 20. Like he gonna give you 30. And listen, if you got him on your parlay, take the 30. Take the 30.
But the thing that happened to him was getting Paul George out of OKC and getting him out of LA, because I don't think he would have been that big of a star in LA. He just needed the opportunity to have his own situation.
It was the what you call it, the James Harden effect, right? I don't think James Harden is as big of a star as he is if he doesn't leave Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
So he got his own situation. I mean, and he got some dogs with him too. And they want to follow him. So it's like, if these teams can kind of like stay together and grow, and then eventually somebody's gonna leave because you can't pay them all. Right. But man, I'm here for it. Real quick before I know we about to leave, but NCAA tournament's about to start. I think we got another a week and a half or something like that.
Yeah, tell Jason I'm ready. I'm starting to do my research.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to my homeboy Rock. He secretly has not said anything to me, but him engaging in his Duke has prompted me to get into the college hoops scene. It's that time of year. So.
Oh yeah. All right, man. So I guess that was a good show, man. I think that was fun. We're definitely gonna talk more about this 2017 Warriors versus 96 Bulls. Like, I don't know, but we'll see. But all right, well, I guess we're done.
All right, we're heading to the battle.
Oh yeah. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B.
All right, we out. Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.